Ooh. Car heating up. Man, it's so cold. Street back there. It's so cold here that I saw Bigfoot in somebody's backyard. And Bigfoot was like this. He was frozen. Black Bigfoot, too. And he was like midstream. They showed a cat like that. They showed a cat a couple years ago, and the cat was like, it froze to death like this. Mid walk, it froze to death. It was so cold outside. But that cat fought, and he took the last step, and he was frozen. That's how. Hey, Derek, what's happening? Hey, what's happening, Sean? That's how cold it get. But Bigfoot was froze like a motherfucker. Like, I wish I'd have got a picture of that cat, though. That cat was like, you could tell it just struggled to the last step. Your green stone is on the way. Okay, thank you, Sean. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. I appreciate it. You have to send me your information. I can send some stones your way. Because I have quite a variety. I haven't bought any stones in a while. I was thinking about the other day going to the crystal shop, because my crystal shop is in the same area, but a new location in the same area, and I haven't been to the new store. The One Divineness, I think she had went. Well, somebody went and sent me pictures. So the new store is a little bigger, because the other store is kind of small. But around here there's really only two good crystal stores. One's on Lake Street, and this one is in Richfield. And his stones are the highest vibrations that I've gotten. My big piece of Motivite, my big piece of the one I wear, I got that one there. One of my big chunks of Motivite I got there. A little Motivite on my gold. No, I didn't get there. I got from the other crystal shop. So yeah. So I got to give it a visit. Yeah. Hey, Duanimous, what's happening? Very kind words. Well, this is Friday. This is the last day of the daddy pickup. Of course, we've got the weekend coming up. We got basketball tomorrow. Lacrosse on Sunday. So, lacrosse is kind of fun. Throwing that ball with the sticks and shit to each other. It's kind of fun. I thought my daughter would like it. She's kind of mixed about it. But it just seems like, I don't know, her natural competitiveness. And it's a lot of running, Oh, there he is. Not sure if you talked about this, but your thoughts on Harden, Simpsons trade, the net storyline seems all over the place. Well, I talked about this yesterday, and I talked about this last night. For the Nets, it makes sense. Well, it doesn't make sense for the Nets in the regard of, for Simmons to be effective, he has to have a ball. But with Durant and Irving, especially Irving, now Irving does play a two-guard game, but again, they run his plays where he gets the ball in the wing and then he starts cooking. So now on defense, Simmons is going to help a lot. 6'9", can cover threes, can cover fours. Defensive wise for the Nets, that makes a lot of sense. And in the mind, the games are scripted, but on defense, the look, it'll help them. Now, on the other way, Philadelphia is going to be much weaker on defense, because we know when Harden in there, he does not play defense. He hasn't played defense since he left OKC. I mean, he just doesn't make an effort for it. Again, a ball-dominant dude. Now, he will score. The scoring they're losing from Seth, he will score, but Philadelphia hurts because they put up so much to get Harden, and you're giving up the pick in June, and you're giving another first round pick. It should have been heads up for him, heads up for Simmons. And I got on a rant, I go on a little rant about Simmons. It's like, that's why they hit that dude. I said this the other night. I'm gonna say it again. He purposely didn't go to a big college because he would have been exposed in college. That's why he didn't go to Duke. He didn't go there. They put him in a team that he would lose, where the NBA and the nation wouldn't see he couldn't shoot. So they hit him down there at LSU. Remember, he only played half the games anyway. So So if you say in the storyline, I still feel that Harding gonna get more calls. Remember, they first of the year they said it's a rule where they not giving the calls as you go to the hoop. Harding's gonna get those calls now. I still think that Philadelphia comes out the East. They kind of my pick to win it all. We'll see how things shift, but that's kind of my pick to win it all is Philadelphia. Just looking at the script and the narrative. So, what's up, man? What's up, MacBone Files? May the great Jaguar. I'll let people see this. Abundance. Thank you. And the same to you, brother. I hope all is well with you. Hey, brother James, what is happening? Oh, nice. Says he has an account here. Okay. I have to check that out. DeAndre, peace and wellness. Thank you so much. And that's what people don't understand. It's like when I do my prayers, I talk about wellness for my children, wellness for myself. You know, I know Bomber's got his it almost seems like a cult the way they all say wholeness, but I think I would rather be well than whole because I can't be whole unless I'm well. But feel rejuvenated. You know, had therapy on my Achilles and felt wonderful. Both Achilles felt wonderful. I didn't realize how much I damaged my repaired Achilles through playing pickleball so much this summer. The doctor could feel it and tell it needed some attention. So that's kind of cool. You know, you get used to pain. Pain ain't really, you know, I don't suffer a lot from pain. You know, it was like when I was getting my filling in, she said, well, it's such small that I'm not even gonna, you know, give you a shot of Novocaine. And I was just taking that pain, but you know, it's still hitting that nerves in your tooth. Still that grinding hitting nerves and the nerves. But again, you know, of all things, pain can be seen as an illusion as well. But I'll say this, you know, people will live with pain thinking it's normal. And that becomes a problem because you'll live with a pain so long you think it's normal. Pain ain't really normal. So I mean, I was watching, you know, TV before I came in, and Wag the Dog is full effect. Why are they showing that shit? Who cares what they do over there? But it's Wag the Dog. You got these war hawks. You know, that's the thing. When the Democrats get hit so hard, they got a war. You know, it reminds you of the Marx Brothers movie. Really does. Marx Brothers made a movie probably in the 30s. And it's like mocking. It's mocking militaries. The same way with Charlie Chaplin made one where he played Hitler. A lot of people were saying that Charlie Chaplin was Hitler, playing dual people. I don't think he was. But it was more than one Hitler. I'll say that. You can see the film. That is like if you watch the last film they show of Hitler, that's a different dude. That's a different dude who hands is shaking and shit. I think they killed Hitler, the Valkyrie. They killed one of the Hitlers then. No way he survived that. Blew damn near everybody else out the room. But it's so like, I guess the point of bringing that up is it's like they bring so many distractions to us that it just makes you not even want to focus on yourself and what's all around you because there's so many distractions. It's like there's so many distractions. When you get around other people, they talk about the distractions. Just like we got this big game coming up, like all them trades we was just talking about. You know, we can't. You know, it's like sports is a kind of thing that you see people caring more about sports than anything else in their life. It's like the team they identify with is their life. For some people, that is their life. Everything about them will say that team. That you know, that the man cave thing has kind of gotten old, but the man cave would be all full of that shit. The garage, you know, it's just that's their life. I mean, they identify with these pro teams so much that that's their life. Democrats will always put up a smokescreen and diversion of war to cover their biggest mistakes. So yeah. I mean, even the crack pipe thing, you know, and even though it just says needles and pipes. And crack pipe is, you know, it's catchy to say that. when in fact it was just talking about dope supplies, needles. I mean, it ain't be long before like shit. The government supply methadone. Ain't nothing but an artificial heroin. It just don't get you high, but it make you not want to crave that shit. But the government pushes that shit. Like a girl that lived under me, like if it was a holiday weekend or something, they would give them a big old dose of that shit. And of course, she was selling that shit once she got it. I didn't know there was a black market for methadone. But to each his own, to each his own. But it's just like, all these distractions that come in. But I was teasing people on Facebook. You ain't seeing them sisters saying chucks and pearls. That shit went away real quick. And I don't get the shit like I've never watched Kevin Samuels. If it wasn't for Sly, Super Sly, I'd never know who he was. I mean, I don't get it. Them other dudes, I ain't never watched them dudes. The Manosphere they talk about, I ain't never watched that shit. What am I watch that shit for? What are they? What knowledge could I get from these people? Shit, I got 8 children, and by 5 different women. I guess I was gonna ask Nick and them, Nick and Sly. So I got 8 children by 5 different women. I used to sell drugs. I've robbed motherfuckers. So would that make me a pookie? Because on the other hand, when I was selling drugs, I owned a security company. I was coaching high school basketball, reffing. So even though I was doing this shit, I was always productive. I ain't never been to jail. Spent a few days in county, but I ain't never been to prison. Never. Not one night in prison. Well, I had a job where I picked motherfuckers up from prison and we took people to prison. I did have one of those contracts. But would that make me a pookie? What you think? Would that make me a pookie? I'll check out the college pro football and basketball games to catch it and point out ball game manipulation and cheating. There's another dude that used grip gloves and this shit, so I'm glad he listened to my shit and spreading the word. I don't be jealous. I don't be hating. It's like I said before, my biggest video ever was 100,000, but that was shared on Zach's page. Zach showed my video on his page of the Dame Dollar, my breakdown of the Dame Dollar, and showing how the ball is manipulated in the air. So, share my shit. If I'm stimulating people out there to put eyes on the fix, let them tell her we're all pookies. It is funny. My first cousin, that was his name. His real name was Joseph, but we called him Pookie. But we called him Pookie. That's his real name. I just think we all got a little bit of that in us, we've all had the ability, to have multiple women, and the ones that get the multiple women pregnant, it's like nothing wrong with big families. That's how I look at it. But yeah, I mean, we all have a little bit of that grittiness, I guess you could call it. I guess that would be kind of the grittiness of how you were. And I'll say this, I ain't never robbed a person that didn't deserve to be robbed. Because, in the dope game, matter of fact, I robbed this one European cat. He saw me at the mall with the money that, I had robbed him of some product. He saw me at the mall spending the money that I made, him and the dude. They ain't say shit. They wasn't going to say shit. This was when I was in my 30s. So they wasn't going to say shit. They ain't say shit. They like, hey, then they left. They walked out. I remember this one dude, I was hitting this one dude, and I talk about him all the time. He was a great basketball player, but he had got out of prison. I was hitting this girl. And he had came over there and seen me over her house a few times. And I remember he confronted me in the mall. And I've told this story before, but he was like, hey, I want to holler at you outside. I'm like, okay. And so he walked in front of me. Well, what he didn't know is I had a .357 Derringer 2-shot in my pocket. And so soon as we got like to the middle of the doors, I like put that pistol upside his head in the back because he's in front of me. He was so stupid. He turned his back on me. And I'm like, yeah, you'll just sit here. Ain't nobody here but us. Ain't no cameras out here. What do you want to do, big fella? And he was like 6'4", 6'5", about 230. And I just put the gun up to the back of his head. And I was like, what do you want to do? Do you want this to escalate? What do you want to do? Like, I know you in your feelings, but you're going to get out of your feelings. I'm going to shoot you right here. So what do you want to do? And then I remember years later, I almost hit him. I mean, I really almost hit him in a car. It was like a car in front of me took forever to turn. What was it? Was it a car in front of me? But I forget. But it was like he came out of nowhere. And I literally, boom, almost hit him. I mean, inches from hitting his ass. And he kind of looked at the car. He's drinking a 40 while he's walking. So, you know, but rest in peace, Tim Reed. Rest in peace. So we all have a little of that grittiness about us. Or you got to do serious man shit, you know? So, you know, we all got a little bit of grittiness. And it's like, who is to define a man? As long as a man take care of his children. I mean, I am one of the few persons in the whole state of Minnesota that won custody of their children as a man. Oh, there goes my brother. How you doing? This is my brother right here. Return of Thought, the Merlin and the Serpent. Definitely check out his work. But glad you could join us. That's my younger brother. Both grew up in Michigan. So yeah, it's a grittiness in all of us. But who is to say, you know, who is to say? I guess we could classify it as like behavior. Because like I think Truth Teller was saying, you know, dudes who dress up and just hang out at the bodega. You know what that used to be? It used to be dudes hang out like that with singing shit. You know, because the light would normally be next to the store. And so a lot of the dudes would hang out because they had the light. And they would sing. That's how doo-wop was born. Doo-wop was born that way. Now, I've seen people pinching pennies and pinching quarters and shit, you know, shooting craps, be on the side of the store, you know, shooting craps and shit. I think it's, you know, like Pookieism is a behavior. And I guess that's the way we have to classify it is truly look at the whole behavior. And it's a behavior of people. It's like a dude won't be driving, but a dude be wearing and done paid $200 for Jordans. I think that's Pookie behavior. Because you could put that money into getting, you know, saving to try to get you a car. I think robbing somebody over a pair of shoes is Pookie behavior. It was a boy here got killed over a jersey. Dude killed him because dude saw the jersey and killed the guy to get it. And then said that, well, when I saw it, you know, I knew I could use it for my outfit to go to a party. Now that's Pookie behavior. So we see a behavior that I think we can classify as that. And you know, as Richard Pryor said, that really defines our wretchedness. You know, that's talking about the wretchedness of our people. You know, how wretched our people can be, which is a thing, but it's all people is like that. It ain't just us. There's more of them here than us. So as I was saying, all my ex-wife people's all of them. It's like 6, 7 of them dead now, but all of them went through the crack era. And this is the sad thing. These was all working people. I mean, industrious. Now, as I said before, I said last night or yesterday, some of them was functional. Now, I saw a lot of her family was functional crackheads. I mean, where they would go to work still. They wasn't crackheads where they was just trying to steal. Some of them was, but most of them was functional crackheads. Like I worked with her uncle, and he was a functional crackhead. I talked about my own roommate. He was a functional, you know, heroin addict. So there were those too, but it's like by far it hit the Europeans more. The cities I saw, it really decimated a lot of European working class Europeans, just like meth has done now. A lot of what would be lower class, working class Europeans, that shit is on them. The girl I said that lived under me, you know, she OD'd. Shit, she was down there ODing. They had to Narcon her ass, bring her back. Because we went down there after they took her away, and there's the Narcon tube on the bed. Like, dang. She 38, 39, 40, somewhere in there. I'm glad Dad let us watch Richard Pryor. Hey, Nicole B, what's happening? Shit, with Richard Pryor with me, I bought the album Wastack. Wastack had little inserts of Richard Pryor. You can look that up now. Look up a Wastack with Richard Pryor, and they'll show how the movie showed it. In the record, it's like little inserts. But me and my brother would know Dennis McCants. Me and Dennis used to buy the albums, or his folks would have the albums. And like Eddie Murphy said, we memorized all the jokes. Like if you look at my timing is still a lot of Richard Pryor. A lot of Richard Pryor. Like when I say fade that nigga shit, that's Richard Pryor. I remember my oldest son asked me what that meant. He's like, because he's heard me say it since he was a little boy. Like now, even with City, I say that to him and my son Cam. I'm like, fade that nigga shit, and they'll say it back to me. Because they've heard it since they was a little boy. But that's Richard Pryor joke. It craps. You know, fading a person is like if a person is shooting, you know, his number come up and it'd be like, who's gonna fade me? And you like, you know, that's what a fade is. Like sticking them. A lot of people, you know, the way you shoot craps in the streets is sticking them. You know, Michigan, we stuck them. That means that if I'm holding the crap game, I'm shooting the dice, I roll them to you, you got to catch them and throw them. And we call foul if you don't catch them or throw them, or we catch it. You can catch it. Like, nah, motherfucker, you got to throw that shit right away. I still see people cheat doing that. That don't stop people from cheating. I've told the story before. I watched a dude do 11 passes. He wasn't cheating. He was just on a hot streak. That's why I think the digital craps, the digital roulette is the stupidest shit in the world. That is some stupid shit. He was an excellent singer. Well, he's an entertainer. You know, that goes almost back to vaudeville. You had to be an entertainer. Well, we out here in the West Coast. Catch this fade. Yeah. See, y'all saying, yeah, catch this fade for y'all mean fighting. But fading, you know, also means that you back in a bet. You know, that's the older meaning. But I caught that on Craig's that y'all say that. Yeah. But yeah, that's the older meaning when you shooting craps. Somebody fades, you mean they betting with you, you know. like when I played basketball at our park, it was always a picnic table under the shed where they shot craps. And if I lost and I had a couple dollars, and sometimes I come out of there with 10, 15 bucks because just fading people, never shooting, just fading people. And they lose and boom, you know. Because it's like, as he sets up to shoot craps, he's like, who got me faded? And you put your money down, he'll put his money down on top of your money. If he throw, you know, snake eyes or he crap out, you know, you grab the money. So, but yeah. But it's funny how, you know, kind of the same word with the different meanings. Yeah. Any Los Angeles stories? I said a little bit. Oh, there's Conspiracy University. What's happening? It takes skill to shoot craps. Oh yeah, skills and luck. Like I told a little bit yesterday, and I'll say that story again. Like in the 80s, Sunset Strip was like models before. Like you had chicks that would just be powder girls, you know, just snorted powder. So you didn't have that strung out look, and you had heroin addicts, but the prettiest prostitutes I ever saw in my life was on Sunset Strip in the 80s. I mean, it was like almost all the girls. I had a partner fell in love with a chick. He fell in love with a chick, let her get his apartment. But one thing that Charlie Murphy said that is true, it was a feminine look of dudes in California. Like, and I'll say this far as hooping too. When I started hooping with dudes in LA, oh my, you talking about the softest hoopers ever. I was on the East Coast mostly. Like I went to college in North Carolina A&T, and so it was a tougher way to play. I just remember I was guarding this 6'8" dude, and he went to the hoop, and I blocked this shit, and he called foul. He's 6'8", and I just talk, I talk so much shit where I'm like, you a bitch, and you play like a bitch. Look, but it was like these dudes was just not. They didn't play a physical game. I played a much physical game, but the dress. I mean, Charlie Murphy was right. Dudes dressed like that George Clinton kind of spacey shit. You would go in the clubs and see that shit. Like it wasn't. East Coast was a little different. You didn't see that. And again, the California curl came from California. That wasn't the Jerry curl. It was a perm. And my homeboy was the first person, he was the first person, my boy Steve Kirk. I mean, the shit looked so wet, but it stayed in place. But it was a perm. It wasn't where you could just spray chemicals in your hair. You really had to get it permed. But they called it the California curl. It looked better than what you saw later. It actually, I knew one cat could get his hair like that, but it's like most of the people I saw afterward, it didn't look good as my partner, how his hair looked. He went to college with me too. And what's funny is when you go to college, when you go to A&T, a black college, it's like being in a fraternity, and they was like, shave your hair off. And he was going to walk on, but when he saw he had to shave his shit off, he ain't doing it. He's like, fuck that. Y'all ain't cutting my shit off. So he didn't play football to keep his curl. Oh, yeah, our cousin Clay was killed in L.A. That's right. He sure was. Our cousin Clay was killed in L.A. Dude drove up next to him and popped him. I think he was fucking with that gang affiliated. Can't say because the cat, when he got killed, had to be in his 40s. But I imagine he had the gang affiliated. Yeah, that's right. Clay Casey was murdered in L.A. Yep. And there's some Makins in L.A. too. Well, Charlie Makin's family is in L.A., so it's Makins in L.A. Hey, strong discernment. What's that? All is good. I'm thinking Bengals Ramsey might get cooked in the big stage. For saying it was scripted in 17. That's a good point. They've been kind of, emphasizing that he said the coach told him it'd be better if New England won. That could be too. A lot of because my chiropractor asked me, he said, which way am I leaning? I'm really leaning towards the Bengals and taking that 4. So I think tonight, when I go on at midnight tonight, I'll look at it. Still been trying to catch more film study too, to kind of see formations, kind of know a little more of what the Rams run and what they run out of, because the Rams run dives, a lot of dives. Rams run right up the gut, a lot of dimes. But yeah, strong discernment. I'm very well. Tonight we celebrate my mother's birthday was Wednesday, but tonight we celebrating her 81st birthday party. A couple of my sons, my daughter, we're gonna go celebrate with her, have some good dinner. Usually it's funny. I've been here for 15 years, and it's like twice a year I give her shirts or sweaters. It's like she either get a shirt or a sweater for me for Christmas. So this year I got her something a little different. But that's what we got planned. Then early morning, I don't know what time the basketball game. Yeah, I got to check our schedule. But we got the basketball game in the morning. I hope he says, I'm an LA hooper and I ain't soft, but for real dudes, soft out here. I'll just say that was my experience in the 80s, was hooping with dudes. And then, I was just straight up, I guess, a gangster like hooper, just straight up like bully hooper. That was me. Like nobody talked more shit. Like my best friend tells a story where he ain't like me. And, I was taking it to him. He about 6'4", 6'5". So the last play of the game, I got the rebound. I'm like, we done beat you. We beat you. I got the ball. He's like, so, because I remember I got the rebound. I was like, you niggas is losing. I'm about to win. And so I go down, I shoot a floater. My friend, John is like 6'5". He's a baseball player. Throw a baseball 100 miles an hour. And I go down and go right at John, and I shot it real high over it. He nicks the ball, so he thinks he's got it. And he looked back, and that shit went in. And I walked off the court talking shit. Like, I told you motherfuckers I was going to beat y'all. And he's like, man, I hated you, man. I used to hate your ass. And then when he ended up moving by me, and we've been friends for 40 years. He's a merchant marine. But playing with football players it helped my game too, to take them bumps and shit. But I think like what helped me from football to basketball is cutting. I could literally cut on you while I dribble. Like receiver makes a cut. Oh, there one. Piper coming. Oh, there she's coming. And so I could make a cut. So well, here they are. I'll be on. Shut again. Think you got the seatbelt or something. All right. Till we meet again, say less.